paper crafters, thank you so much for joining me today. I love that you took the time to pop by my channel, check out the video that I've got going, and hopefully stay and poke around a little bit. I'm really excited to be able to offer some videos now and then and share my love of paper crafting. So I hope you find something that you enjoy and come back to see me another time. Bye-bye. Hey paper crafting friends, thanks for tuning in today. I am going to be sharing with you the first of the layouts that I am making from this C'est La Vie paper stack from Parklane. I already shared in a previous video how I would split this up into some project sets. So I am going to bring one of those in today. So this is the set that we're going to be working with. Everything is from the stack aside from this dark green background paper. This is actually a close to my heart paper that I'm going to be using today. I believe it's called Evergreen, but I will double check. I've got a few sentiment cards that I had decided would go really well with this set, but this is the palette that we're going to play with. So let me get something laid out and I will be right back to share that with you. All right, I got this laid out and I just want to talk you through some of the choices that I made here. I pulled my inspiration for today's layout actually out of Idea Book Volume 3. So this was the layout that kind of inspired my work today. This is on page 38 if you happen to have this idea book, okay? And what we're going to be doing is layering two borders here at the bottom. Now the borders I chose are actually a little bit different than what was in the idea book. I picked Madison Avenue 2A and 2B. Those are the larger ones in the background. And then Madison Avenue 3A and 3B. Those are the ones that are layered on top. When you're using your borders end to end, there is a way to do them so that they connect perfectly. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're designing with them. When you're doing one at the top and one on the bottom or on the sides, it doesn't matter at all. But if you're doing them end to end, you want to make sure that you've got them so that they're going to line up right. Okay. I put two 3x4 photos here. They're going to tuck behind the first border and then be over the second, over that back border. I've got a 4x6 here, and I just put a little photo corner here. This is Tiny Highlights 4T, and I thought I'm going to use, you know, a couple of these smattered around here and here, and maybe a couple of other places. Over here, I've got some pieces from both the Nature Accessory and from Tiny Nature. So this is from the full-size Nature Accessory. This is Nature 6, and this big leaf is Nature 1. I'm planning on using it here and then on this other side. But I'm hoping that this card, this Nature 6T, that I can use this to shape one of the sentiment cards. I want to do that, "Oh, how I adore you," I think, right here. Just kind of as it'll be like a title. So I'll share that with you when I get ready to do that. On this side, I know this kind of looks like a hot mess right now, but what I've got are two 4x5s and two 4x4s, and they create a really lovely kind of square on this layout, which is great. But I want to put a background behind them that's going to have a scalloped edge. So this is a lot like one of the templates that came in one of the club kits, and it's another one that people have been asking me about. Okay, so if you have the scallops border, then we can make this background. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm just going to grab a white piece of cardstock so I can walk you through it. I like to do things like this on white the first time anyway. Then if you like that, you can just save it. And that can be kind of like a template for you to use in the future, and you don't have to figure it out every time. So let me grab a white piece of cardstock and I'll show you that piece and we'll get going making some paper choices. Okay, so first you need both scallops, 1A and 1B, and it does really help if you have them both pulled out so that you can get this first piece lined up well. Okay, so just as far as positioning goes, these borders are both 12 inch, so they go end to end, You just want to try to make sure you've got them pretty straight. And if you watch here, I'm lining up the curve that comes down from one border with the curve, the last full curve of the border that's underneath going the other direction. Okay, so that's basically going to be my corner. Okay. So let me get that started. And then I know that I've got this one in the right place. And I'm going to trace all the way down, only hitting the full scallops. Don't trace the half scallops, okay? Now I can use this one, and I'm going to do the same thing going down the side. I already started that little piece there on the corner. Now I can just keep going all the way down to the bottom. Again, only tracing the full scallops. Okay. I'm going to turn, line that up with the tracing line I just made. I'm trying to be straight here. If it's off a little bit, the beauty of this is a practice piece, and it's also, you know, if you need to make an adjustment before you cut it, that's fine. Like I said, once I've done this once, I'd probably hold on to it so that you have this shape for the future if you want to use it. It's kind of your custom made template. Okay. Whoop. Nope, that's the right way. All right. So let me line this up one more time. Okay. Got the curve and the curve. It might be off a tiny bit. I don't know that it's enough for me to worry about. I'm gonna keep going. Okay. So hopefully you can see that. I've got this really cool scalloped square now that I'm going to cut, and I'm going to use this to create that shape for my layout on a piece of pattern paper. I'm just going to call this Scalloped Square, and I'm going to save this for future reference. All right, for that big scallop, I went ahead and used this paper that is kind of a peach, and it's got some designs on the on here that are just some little bit different color variations of that same peach tone. This is what it looks like on the back, which is also beautiful on this paper, but that's not what we're going for today. So this is going to be the background of this page, and I'm going to center it side to side, but I do want it a little bit closer to the top just because I'm going to be putting so many photos on it. Okay, I'll show you how the borders came out. I chose this really gorgeous floral for the big border. Now if you look at the back of it, it's this peach with the kind of rose gold accents on it. So we actually are using both sides of this paper in this layout. So remember what I said about lining up your borders. If I go this way, okay, those are clearly not lined up correctly. But when I put them this way, end to end, I'm in good shape. So let's do that. And then layered right on top of them, okay, is Madison Avenue 3A and 3B. Again, that's not the right way. Let's try the other end. There we go. So I know that I can do those here and here. Okay. And let me show you how the photo mats came together. I did choose 2 different colors to do the photo mats this time. So for all the larger mats, I went ahead and used this lighter peach. It's a light pink on the back side. For some of you, that may be a preferable choice. So you know, obviously do what works for you. I like all of the peach tones in this, and I'm just gonna ride with that. So there's these little 3x4s here. I did make in a little bit darker peach tone. The back of that one is white if you're tearing apart that paper stack. So kind of a dark peach on one side and then white on the other. So just a little difference in the tone here, but I liked that these two kind of had that same color tone as this, and that carried it. It's also going to show up here on this sentiment card. Okay. These are the 4x5s and the 4x4. When you do these, you've got to make some choices on layering, right? I can tuck that end under if I want, depending on what photo I'm going to use, or I can put it on top. I am more likely to put it over the border. I love the borders, but I scrapbook for photos. So, you know, my photos definitely come first. So I would most likely have it over the border. That way I have all the space I need for a photo. Okay. So those are going to go something like that. I talked to you about the little photo corners that I wanted to use. And I cut these out of that really fun vellum that had the rose gold metallic on it. I just thought this was so fun and just a really neat pop. Bring that metallic up. You know, we're already showcasing it here. And I just thought that'd be fun to do a couple more spots of it. If you really love the metallic, you could continue and carry that even further by doing more of the corners. I just wanted a little touch. And then here's the flower. So I did the large flower with that floral print, okay? And then here is the smaller nature. Let's see, this is from Tiny Natures. This one's 6T. And you can see that this template was a tiny bit big for what I needed. So I did trace like one side of it, and then I scooched it a little bit to get the other side so that I could have this, the floral shape, even though this template was a tiny bit larger than what I needed, okay? So there's that kind of deep peach coming across again, okay? So it's here, it's here, it's here. And then look at these leaves. I used the nature template. I knew I was going to be tucking in this side, so I didn't even bother with this little tag part here. I did just trace one, and then when I went to trace the other, I flipped it upside down so that I could have one that was just a slightly different shape, ready to go the other direction. So I'm going to tuck one here. Actually, that's not the one I want there. I want it this way because I just want that whoop, little curve, and then one here. So that flower really takes up that whole corner, but it's kind of your title at the same time. And I've got room for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 photos for sure. If you needed to fit any more in, you could definitely do another one here. You know, or do 4x4s here instead, something like that. But I hope this gives you an idea about how to get into that C'est La Vie paper stack if you've got it. If not, obviously pull out some other papers that you've got, have some fun creating. Hopefully the trick with the scallops gave you an idea about creating this background piece, and you can get busy doing some creating of your own. So please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. If you haven't done it yet, subscribe and hit that little notification bell so you know when my new videos come out. I appreciate you joining me today, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.